Zasha, you talked about getting feedback in an auditions, trying to do dramatic roles, and then perceiving you as being sort of more comedic than you intended. Have the rest of you had feedback in an audition that you thought was utterly bizarre or strange, it was not at all what you intended, and how did you take that feedback and use it to your advantage moving forward?
I had this audition for this woman. It was for a comedy, and she was like, no, you're really sad. No, you're really, really sad. Do it over again. You're really sad. And I was like, I'm just getting like sadder and sadder and sadder, thinking this doesn't make any sense because it's a comedy. So now I'm like crying and sad. And she was like, okay, thank you. And then she called my manager. My manager called her for feedback, and she was like, I think she needs to take an acting class. She was not following the direction. I was like, what the? She was like, I really wanted her to just be funnier and like bigger. And I was like,
give me a break.
Why do you say that? You still made me sadder. And so
she was saying you're playing it sad.
She was saying
she wanted you not to play it sad.
I don't know what she was saying.
It's a grammatical problem on her part.
I know. I was like, if you had used words that made sense to people who use words, then I would have been able to do.
No, it was backwards day.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
You should never go out for an audition on backwards.
Never. Always fucks you.
I learned not to listen to people. That's the second part of my answer.
Betty, did you have any bizarre audition experiences when you were?
Any bizarre?
Audition experiences.
Well, it's been, I've been in this.
Betty White does not audition, you guys.
Well, no,
what are you talking about?
I haven't auditioned in a while, but the stage fright, I can still feel it here. The stage fright, and this is the spot that it hits. And you'd think you'd get used to it in all those years, but you don't.
I think it keeps you human. You know, I think the minute that it's like the idea of being able to walk off a set and be like, killed that today, like couldn't have done it better. You know, if the stage fright is gone, then I think there's an idea that you don't have any more growing to do, which, you know, as artists and as humans, I think we always can grow more. And there's something about that fear that also keeps you in the moment. You know, it's very grounding and it keeps you very connected to everything that's happening.
I didn't feel too good in there when I was getting my makeup on.
You know, I had an audition. I do a lot of voiceovers, and I do Archer, which is you know, and I've done the show Dinosaurs, which was, and I went for an audition for Borden's Milk. It was a milk in New York a long time ago, and I actually got past the first set, and then you go up to the ad agency, and this was in the days when they did that, and they said, okay, we want the moo of a cow that's been happily married for 10 years.
So?
I said, so not 11, not 9, you want 10, okay, and I moved. Of course, I didn't get the part. But I mean, it's so bizarre, some of the things that people want at auditions.
As a character actress, which is what it's called when you look like me and you're a comedic actress, character actresses often get auditions where the description of the character is homely or fat. And this is often like, it's, you know, it's never fun, and I have no problem with homely or fat people, but it's very awkward to get, you know, that consistently for parts. And so this one part, they use the word zaftig, which is the Yiddish word for plump. Yeah, right. Healthy is what my parents used to say. Right. So anyway, so I go in and, you know, like I wore kind of like a drawstringy dress. Like I made like a little effort, because she's like a secretary, like a frumpy zaftig secretary, fine. So I go in, and this is a new thing that never used to happen. They had you model for the camera before you even got to read your lines. They asked for your height and weight. They brought in a dude to stand next to me, and I had to recite my height while the dude next to me, who they know is 5'8", was, so they wanted to see, like, are you lying about your measurements? They had me turn to this, and I felt like I was auditioning for porn. They're like, turn to the side, and they did an up and down. They're like, turn to the, and here I am in my frumpy dress, turn to the other side, and they did like an up and down shot, and I'm like, you're feeling dirty, right? So I did the audition, and whatever, it was fine. Like my 5 lines were fine. So I called my manager after, and I was like, you know, they did this thing where they were like asking my measurements, and you know, like, I said, you know, I thought the part was like, I didn't think it would matter. She said, oh, you didn't see the rewrite? She's no longer zaftig.
Oh my God.
And here I was in my frumpy dress.
Was that for a film or TV?
Why didn't you see the rewrites? What kind of an agent is that?
That might have been my fault, but.
For something that we may have seen?
I don't think so, not yet, no. And it wasn't a huge part, but I just felt, whatever, I felt bad in many ways. Anyway.
Go back in. Just go in.
Naked.
Monday
just
morning.
naked.
Like,
Just
show
me
up.
naked. Wear this and you'll show them.
Right.
Okay.
Just pasties. Nothing else.